Hey, good afternoon, Warren. It's Mr. Kangas, and I am coming to you with my first gratitude garden of the year, along with a story from yesterday when we had the construction outside. You'll notice the title of this Parent Square was Seek First to Understand, so the story has to do with that. So I'll start off with my gratitude. It takes a ridiculous amount of people and time and effort to plan for the start of a school year, especially now that we're also navigating COVID restrictions. Last year we had to come up with 4 or 5 different schedules throughout the year and constantly pivot things and change things. And we were obviously hoping that we could have more freedom this year and not have to do quite as much pivoting. Um, but part of the problem right now is that we really don't know what direction COVID is going to take us throughout the year. And I think that is wearing on people, not having any sort of certainty for our future. And so we make plans, but there's no saying how long those plans will last. I've already had to pivot some plans, especially since my August was full of a lot of personal family trauma that took place with 3 people passing in my family, and so I was going through a whirlwind during that month. And getting back at it here in September, we've had to pivot some of our plans as COVID has started to spike, but overall, we do have more normalcy this year than we did last year. Um, Obviously, we are still masking and we're trying to distance where we can, but since the distancing is not a requirement, we are able to do things last year and fill classrooms in a way that we weren't able to. So it definitely eases things a bit. But huge props to the transportation department and everything that they are going through. Ernie Vanna is the transportation director, and I got to tell you, he has been super responsive, and he and his bus drivers are working their hardest to make this work. We are down bus drivers, we are down buses, so routes for the bus drivers are taking longer than way longer than what is typical. And they've had to change routes, change buses, add kids, and I know they're all stressed. And so if you see any of them, please, one, be patient with them, and two, make sure to, you know, express some gratitude there, throw some gratitude their way. Um, that has been probably the most complicating thing this year so far. It has been dismissal and bus routes. And speaking of dismissal, thank you to all the parents and to all of the teachers who have been helping out with dismissal. We've had to make tweaks to dismissal as we've gone along to speed it up. On the first day, I don't think the last bus left here until 3:50. We very clearly had to make some pivots there, and we did. And on the second day, we got buses out of here by I think 3:36, and then I know today we were able to get buses out of here by 3:32. So it is getting smoother and smoother as the days go on. And just for some perspective, in pre-COVID days and even during, in pre-COVID days, typically buses left here about 3:30. So we're getting right close to being back to normal there, even though we're doing a lot more during that window. We're getting out at 3:10 instead of 2:30, and we have roughly 80 kids being picked up, 80 to 100 kids that are being picked up during dismissal time, while we're also getting buses in here and getting buses loaded. And so we're doing a lot more in that time frame from 3:10 to 3:35 than we've ever done before, but we're making it work and we're doing it well and efficiently, and it feels a little chaotic at times, especially with the addition of pre-K and K, but we're doing it, and it's getting better every day. So massive props to secretaries, to all of the people coming outside and helping. I mean, the weather's been great too, so that's been helpful, and parents for being so responsive to the Parent Square messages we sent out. That's been great. I've had numerous teachers and community members reach out to me to express gratitude to me for the start of school, for the things that me and my family were going through in August, and I just once again can't express enough gratitude and appreciation for the community that I am part of, that I get to serve, that the people I get to work with. It's rare to have people that care about you at the place that you work, and the way that I think we care about each other here, and the way that the community cares here. This is 100% in education. Ben, I've mentioned this before, my favorite school to be part of. Like any job, it comes with its headaches and it comes with its things that I dread, but at the end of the day, I am super thankful to be where I'm at. So I could keep going with the list, but I also wanted to throw in a little story here, and I don't want to make this video too long. I can add to the gratitude next week when I do my next video. I had a situation yesterday where during dismissal, as anyone who was picking up their kid found out, construction's going right by the entrance to the school. And they started at 3 o'clock. And so I was pretty furious, and which normally I'm not, but with the culmination of things that have gone on in the last month, I was pretty furious. And normally I'm very big on seeking first understand. Let's get all sides of the story before we make any judgments. And I just couldn't wrap my head around why they would be starting construction at 3 o'clock right in front of my school. And so I called the Department of Transportation, just livid. I reined in my, what my body wanted me to say and how it wanted me to say it. But I definitely, had irritation in my voice. And I was talking to the head of the DOT or whoever was on the other end about my concerns with the fact that we've got 100 parents picking up kids, and here we have construction literally right in front of my driveway to the school, and it is significantly backing up traffic, delaying pickup and buses, and that I was pretty frustrated. And I couldn't, in my head at that time, due to my emotional state, I could not on my own see why on earth they would be doing this. It felt almost intentional, if you were to ask me at that time. Of course, after talking to the person at the DOT, they explained to me that it's been raining all summer. Their projects have been delayed, and they're just piling up, and they have a ton of projects to do, and they're running out of time. They don't have control over the scheduling because they contract out to contractors, and the contractors have to work within their schedules. And so he said he would call over to the contractors and see if there's anything they could do. And so then I went outside, having a little bit more perspective. Now that I talked to him, and I was starting to calm down a little bit, but I was still a little frustrated, and went outside and I talked to the guy that was heading up the construction, the contractor, and he came over to me, and you could tell he was frustrated, and I explained to him kind of like how we've been having to run pickup like this for the last year plus now, and so there's a lot of traffic here, and is there any way that they could be thoughtful about this stuff moving forward? And one of the things he explained to me that I wasn't aware of, because I don't do road construction, is he said that they were doing construction down by the intersection, and he said they had to stop at 3 o'clock and move up towards the school, because you can't do construction between the hours of 7 and 9 in the morning and 3 and 6 at night, because those are rush hour times. And he's and he was talking to me about his with stressors, which is they're in one of the most trafficked intersections in the area, doing major construction, trying to direct traffic, and he said him and his guys, they're stressed out, they're nervous. You know, it's not fun doing construction in an area like that. It's really stressful. And he said, and on top of that, they've been getting yelled at, and they've been getting cussed at, and they've been getting horns beeped at them all day, and it's really frustrating because they're just trying to do their job, and they don't have a whole lot of control over it, especially with how backed up they are. Like they just, you know, he told me that in the next couple of weeks they're going to be in front of 6 other schools, and that's just, it is what it is, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And it really was just a perfect storm of just crud for everybody, you know. It stunk for us, it stunk for them, and there wasn't really much anyone could do about it, because they had to get in work while they could on the intersection, and they have to get those other jobs done within those times when they can't work on the intersection. On top of that, it was raining for part of yesterday, so they got started late on the intersection work, and they tried going as late as they could. They even went a little past 3, even though they weren't supposed to. So after talking to him, I was finally able to take a deep breath and go, wow, like, this is really just another reminder that we should really be seeking first understand, not jumping to conclusions and making assumptions and getting overly frustrated when we haven't taken the time to check in with whatever it is that is frustrating us, especially when it involves people. Check in with them, see where they're coming from, what they're thinking, why they're doing what they're doing, get some perspective. I know little to nothing about road construction and how that works and how it's scheduled. And just like a lot of people tend to get frustrated with schools who don't understand all of the things that we have to grapple with when we're making decisions. And so to them, what seems like a simple decision or a simple choice isn't so simple when you're actually on the inside trying to make everything work and you're having to balance all of the plates. And so I had to remind myself that I've been through that. I have had people jump down my throat about things that they didn't understand, and it doesn't feel good. And so I want to always be cognizant of that so I don't end up doing that to other people. And so I really appreciated the fact that everyone from the contractor to the people at the DOT, they were patient and they were good about explaining things. And I went home after feeling frustrated, feeling actually bad for them, and wishing that I could have done something to help. So that's my gratitude garden for this week, and I will definitely be checking with everybody next week. And I really appreciate anyone who's tuning in to watch these. Hopefully they're helpful. Hopefully they're positive. Hopefully they help encourage us to be a little bit more thoughtful and a little more appreciative for just even the little things that take place in our day-to-day life. I'm going to try to do these weekly. Once in a while I'll probably forget, but you should look forward to these hopefully every week. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.